Let's give it up for Ordell Cordova.
Yeah!
Ordell!
Hey, how's everybody doing tonight? Yeah. I'm gonna hit you guys off with a little new piece that I just worked on, trying to get my damn tongue on. A piece that I just put together, getting into my repertoire. This is the first time I'm gonna be reading it out in public. I've always been big into history and stuff. Excuse me while I try and get this microphone. That's why we had to raise that money. Just trying to dance and shit, and I ain't even doing no music right now. All right. This piece right here is a piece on history. How many people here know about the 7 wonders of the world? So how many people know about the original list of the 7 wonders of the world? That's what this piece is dealing with. It's called the 7 wonders of the world. It goes, I know most people on the planet don't even give a damn, but I'm gonna let my pen slam. A list made by this man, Herodotus. The 7 wonders of the world. 7 amazing things made by human beings. The only one of the original 7 to still be on the list, still to exist, and always has been the oldest on the list. A little later, we'll get into this. The second oldest on the list, the Hanging Garden of the Babylon. This was made like 600 BCE. Now, the first to get changed off the list, that was Ishtar's Gate. That was made around 575 BCE. And around 500 BCE, the Temple of Artemis was made. And what about that great statue of Zeus at Olympia? This was made around 432 BCE. See, this had all happened a long, long time ago. Like 350 BCE, the great tomb of Mausoleus was made. Then the Colosseum, the Colossus of Rhodes, that was like 292 BCE. This is what the Statue of Liberty and her sisters, they were based on the Colossus of Rhodes. These 6 are the 7 from 600 BCE to 292 BCE. Now, that's some history. Check it. Greece, Babylon, Assyria, Turkey. This was a time of their great sights to see. Now, where we started at the top of the list, still on the list, which started the list. This is the Great Pyramid of Giza, made around 2560 BCE. Yes, that's almost 2,000 years before these other wonders. The only wonder in Africa on the list. Now check this. When the Great Pyramid of Giza was made, this was like the 4th great dynasty in Kemet. The 7 wonders of the world. A list to compare greatness, using Kemet as a starting point. Yet to engineers trying to engineer something to last throughout time, like the pyramids, the 7 wonders of the world.
Yeah. Ordell Cordova. Give it up for Ordell Cordova.
Yeah. I brought this little book with me, something I got published in back in 1996, this book called Spillway. So I'm just gonna bust one of the pieces I brought in here for you right here. This is a piece that inspired me, because at one point in my life, I was like broke off as a motherfucker out here, watching all kind of homeless people all over the city, all over the world, so I had to do a little piece.
Yeah.
And this one's called Free as a Vagabond.
Go ahead on.
In the streets, no door, no home, no food stamps or money. Some people have, some people give, others run and lock their doors. I don't have no door to lock, but a key in my mind. My life I feel, my youth gone, youth gone. I see the youth ones beside me. No home, no work. They stay here in corners and curbs. We might even have a car. That's a little better. Still a vagabond, floating, no watch, shadows of buildings as sundials, nothing we fear. But I, still having nothing, though I am totally free as a vagabond.
Oh!
There we go. I'm gonna kick a couple of pieces for you guys this evening. I'm gonna start off with a piece I wrote about what's going down on the coastline right now with all the oil spills, and just letting us know that, you know, that's just one of them. This shit be blowing, they be blowing up oil and spilling it all over the land. But this one over the ocean down in Louisiana and the Gulf of Mexico is just, you know, tremendous. So I had to write a little piece called Black Gold Death. And it goes like this. No fly zone, cause this zone ain't fly. Hundreds of millions of gallons with a battalion protecting this mess. They, the big oil mongers, got us into this. Look at the death, not just the local ecosystem, this black gold death, pissing all over the world. Black gold death, from the birds to the dolphins, to the people who this has been their existence as they are now just reminiscing. So many dead fish on the water, it looks like cement. So don't go grab your skateboards unless you're gonna smash these big business bitches. They already knew of the dangers of this black gold death. Offshore drilling, onshore drilling, just fucking up Mother Earth till she bleeds. And damn, when she's raped like that, for us there's no escape. It's just a really big raft to it. To drive a car, is it worth it? To have some plastic, is it worth it? All of which can be done with the power of the sun, something called Ra, black gold death. Greed bastards, killing billions, just to make billions. Grim Reaper personalities, that black gold death. This one right here is a little bit more upbeat, a little bit more positive, because you know it ain't nothing positive you can say about that BP. You know what I'm saying? They be trying to say that they ecological, trying to say that they green, and all you see is some nastiness. This piece right here is called Circles of the Past, because everything that goes around comes around. You know what I'm saying? So this one goes like this. Circles of the past, always catching up to the future. Like our planet dancing around Ra, with the sister planets always returning to its starting point. Along the galactic journey, many facets of our reality, our societies, just as the seasons, expressed in so many reasons. Circles of the past always catches up to the present. It is always present. Life, Ka, Chi, energy, never ending, omnipresent. Our existence, to acknowledge the beauty in it all, even in what we cannot recall. This system of life, every movement in the universe. Our ancient ancestors use a living image to represent it all. Yeah. That just ends like that right here. We'll do this one more, then let some of these other wonderful artists, man, it is thickened up in here, you know what I'm saying? It's the way we like it, and this is gonna get thicker and thicker through the night, so you better keep your seat. You know what I'm saying? Because it's gonna you're gonna be trying to be like, oh, what happened? Don't be tripping, because I warned you. This one right here is called That Time of the Month. And this is just a reminder for all the dudes, because I know all the women already know, but you know, a little something for you guys to think about, you know what I'm saying? This one goes like this. I was thinking of the thought of women being around during the caveman times. Cave women at that time of the month. Shit changed right then. Mark my pen. Come on, women, you know. If men were running around with clubs, then women would have been making clubs of women to figure out that shit. That time of the month. That time of the month. The science of that time of the month tells me it's a problem with that Adam story. Every other story I've ever heard with a man trying to make life without a woman, I know you saw Lord of the Rings, check it, that kind of thing. That time of the month is the reason we're all here. The fact of the matter that you're hearing me, it makes my point clear. Check your science, and even check your fiction. Movies like Children of Men. Without woman's word working, none of us is working. That time of the month. We enter this world in a womb, then we leave it in a tomb. In between life moves, human beings being always aware of that time of the month. Something I don't hear most men get into, but I will. All you who grow that plant cannabis, you know what will happen in a room full of all female plants. That's right, keep an eye open, because one will become able to pollinate or impregnate the other females. Thus as well. Women have the duty to keep humankind going. Not Adam. There's a whole lot of Adams and Steves, but who they raise will never be their seed without a woman. That time of the month. So at this time of the month, I want you to know, don't fall for the okie doke. This ain't no joke. Man, come on, really, check yourselves. Check the history and be real. Sexism, male superiority, yo, that's a hoax. So if you need to, take a toke and just think about it. That time of the month, that's the first, the original, exclusive club, the Life Club. You have to be tapped by God to be in that one. This reminder, see this shirt I'm wearing? I know you want one. Better go over here and get those, because those go fast too. Peace out and get back on this music. Word. Translating hats right now. How many of you people know that the Omec Heads are here in Los Angeles right now over at LACMA? Nobody? Wow. Well, I'm letting you know right now you can go to LACMA and they can brought them big statues. How many people here know what the Omec Heads are? We got a couple of them. Nope, they're from Mexico. Mexico, Central America, down into South America. These were some heads left here by the ancients. And when you look at these heads, now I wish I brought some of the pictures with me. I'm gonna be getting some t-shirts made with the pictures of these heads. These guys were some big lip, big wide nose, some with hair just like mine, you know what I'm saying, with little tassels in them. They wore helmets that were like Cushitic helmets, which we now know as Ethiopian. And the scientists don't want people to realize how far back our ancestry goes. There's a lot of confusion purposely. So I wrote this poem right here. It's called Omec Heads, just to give you guys a little knowledge, a little something about who the Omecs really are. Omec Heads. Omec, meaning rubber people, because they brought rubber to this continent. They brought it from Africa, where the rubber is from, just as those people called Omecs, the great people who brought grand civilization to this continent, the knowledge of the pyramids, the star system, the rubber that was used for the shoes. The archaeologists never want to admit what they see. They see the Omecs 3D pictures carved in rock. These guys had big lips, wide noses, locks like mine, even African tassels, and I'll say it, these were African people, Omecs. If that's not enough, these white folks did DNA tests from their grave sites in Mexico. That's right, African DNA. The women buried with them were indigenous DNA. This is according to their scientific science. The first pyramid was built in Africa by Imhotep for the pharaoh Doja. This knowledge was brought over to this land around the same time as it was taken into China and Japan. Those Africans were not called Omecs, but they're known as Dravidians. I just had to write this to tell you, when the European invaders came here, they said they thought they were Indians. They thought they were in India. But India, in ancient times, if you look it up, they considered India as Eastern Ethiopia. Ethiopia was called the whole continent that we call Africa. Look at the maps. They call the whole continent Ethiopia. Just as the ocean that we now call the Atlantic on the old maps was called Ethiopic Oceania. So they thought that you were African because your ancestors were African Omecs. This is why you're still slave today and you live with us NATOs, North American descendants of slaves. You descendants of the Omecs, those Omec heads left here just to represent. I'm going to do this one more piece right here, where I go and study my African spiritual science. The Reverend, the head of the Spiritual Center, said something one time, and I just thought it was pretty profound. He said that the ancients, they would use stepping stones, not crushing stones. So us today, we should have that type of philosophy in whatever we do. We should utilize stepping stones, not crushing stones. So I wrote this piece called I Step, giving peace and love to the man Imhotep, who I said earlier in the last poem, who built the first pyramid. He also was one of the greatest doctors who ever lived in human history, great astrologer. It's an amazing man, look him up, Imhotep. But this poem goes like this. I step to the future by using the knowledge of my ancestors. I step like Imhotep, using stepping stones, not crushing stones. I step to the future with the power of Unter and the principles of Ma. The false ways I was taught, I stop, so I can step like Imhotep, using stepping stones, not a crushing stone. So I represent the way that I can with the oneness of Unter, using the principles of Ma, so I can step like Imhotep, using a stepping stone, not a crushing stone. Using the principles of Mayat, the power of Unter, I step into the futures with the blessings of my ancestors. The principles of Mayat, they are balance, righteousness, order, truth, reciprocity, justice. So I step like Imhotep, using building stones, not crushing stones, with the power of Unter and the principles of Mayat. Those old ways I was taught, I stop.
All right, give it up for the doctor, Ordell Cordova. Doing a lot of great things out there. All right, thank you, man. Thank you. This is DJ Nas, but he's also Ordell Cordova. He ran House of Green for 7 years every Tuesday night at the Westwood Brew Co. And a lot of poets came out of his spot, so he's been doing mad community service all over Los Angeles for a long time. Let's give it up for Ordell Cordova, the first MoZaic child of the night.
Hey everybody. Well, I'm gonna start off actually with a piece that I just recorded recently. And you know, this is the first time it's ever been played in public, so you guys will get the treat. And then I'm gonna read you a piece I wrote for Martin Luther King. So this first piece I'm gonna start off with that you're gonna hear is called Ocean Waves of Days, and it goes like this.
All your life, like starlight, and the thrust, the galactic dust. As we touch by rock. Flying the cosmos all your life, like starlight, and the thrusts of the galactic dust. As with me, I rock, experiencing
So that was Ocean Waves of Days, that right there. Believe it or not, I wrote, produced, and recorded that whole track on my phone. Technology. Take these headphones off right here, and I'm gonna read you this piece right here. Like I said, I got this Martin Luther King piece while we're here today. In fact, I'm gonna get up on the main stage and read this piece here. To King. From the dream of the one who changed the scene. From him, it was not about the cream, which seems to be the seams of our time. Some ask, how is it defined in a world that says it wants equality, but when it comes to it, equal doesn't equate to all. So here, I call it the transition. Obama would not even be in his position. A poetic definition to this social mission. A dream? That's happening. See this dream Dr. King had? It was a dream many had and still do. So like Dr. King, I'll sting with positivity back to Pianki, taking over on the enemy so smooth, not even a baby will cry. With non-violence, even before Gandhi. So let me remind thee, in order to remember Dr. King, from the dream of one who changed the scene, planting the seed of Rosa, Miss Parks, who parked her ass in a place to blast time with a peaceful defiance, and all the other lions whose roar will not soar through time, like from the dream of one who changed the scene, Dr. Martin Luther King. So with that right here, I go ahead and slide back the mic to our host, Nickie Black.
Ordell Cordova, blessing the mic tonight.